What's up, Victoria? It's Victoria, and today what I want to do with you is look back on a video I made earlier this year where I talked about brands I'd like to try this year, and I want to reflect on whether or not I did try them, what I thought about them if I did try anything from those brands, and just kind of really round it out. I think it's really important to circle back to these kinds of things. But if you are new to my channel, hello, welcome. My name is Tom. Actually, I'm not really named Victoria, and what I like to do on my channel is to promote kind of conscious consumption and smart consuming of makeup. There are moments where one can get very swept up into the hype of new makeup, and what I like to do is to try to encourage myself and you to be thoughtful before we make a purchase, maybe take a look at our makeup collection before we make a purchase. And I'm also exploring some other types of content at the end of this year and at the beginning of next year. So if you want to join me for the ride, please hit the subscribe button down below, and while you're already looking down there, hitting the like button and the hype button, they're all right there, and I would love for you to think about hitting those as well. If you check out the pinned comment, there are links there to directly support people in places that need your help. If you have the funds to support those people, please do so. I'm on Patreon and I have channel memberships. Over there, I typically try to do one additional video every month. Think of it as a way to support me if you feel like that's something you want to do, but there's no pressure to. I'm just really happy that you are here. I don't remember what I said about any of these things, and I'm just going to try to keep it casual. We're doing MESSMAS. Hi, welcome to MESSMAS. I'm posting every day from now until December 25th, from the 1st to the 25th. I think keeping things casual and less structured is very helpful whenever I'm doing the trying activity of posting every day in a month. I'm just going to rely on the timestamps I have on this video. So the first brand I talk about is the brand MAC, which has completely fallen off my list of brands I'd like to try more of. I've tried things from MAC in the past, and I think I did acquire a couple of MAC products throughout this year. I bought one of their lipsticks. When they did, was that this year? Did they do that nude lipstick launch this year? That might have been why I was interested in MAC back in this video, because I was like, ooh, nude lipsticks. And I actually do think that MAC as a brand has kind of put out some more relevant products this year. And I think that's great that they did. Unfortunately for them, and I guess fortunately for me, I've been trying to pay more attention to parent companies. Now, I don't always think that the company itself, MAC, I don't know that MAC is a bad company itself, but the company that owns MAC is bad company. So it's like really hard to navigate the beauty space right now if that is important to you. And I'm not saying that I'm perfect at it or that I will be perfect about it every time, but it is something that I'm conscious of now and trying to pay more attention to as I shop, which is also the reason I've kind of had like many meltdowns throughout this year, being like, how can I exist as a makeup channel on a platform owned by Google? Like, it's been just a thing that I've thought a lot about this year. And I don't expect you to be a perfect person, but it's always something to consider. It's just like a food for thought, like maybe take it into consideration moving forward. So MAC is kind of off the table for me. And I think that also kind of happened in the middle of the year. Like, I was like, I think we let go of that dream. The next brand is the brand Vieve, which I did a brand deep dive video on in this year. I don't remember when I bought the products, but I don't think I bought the products too long after that. I think I'm recalling correctly. I was between trying, did I hit the record button? Do you ever have those moments where you're like, did I hit the record button? And this might have been around the time where I was trying to make the decision for my next full brand deep dive review, and Vieve won out, which I think was a better option for me anyway. And there was a lot of stuff I wanted to try from Vieve, and I know a lot of people really like Vieve. I do feel like Vieve is a little bit of an elusive brand in the United States. Now, if you live abroad, or especially in Europe, especially in the UK, you might be more familiar with Vieve, you might be more familiar with Jamie Genevieve, and you might be familiar with Jamie Genevieve, but you might not know that she had a brand, but it's owned by Jamie Genevieve, in case you didn't know. It's one of those brands where it's like very alluring. I think that they do a really good job marketing to my kind of preference of makeup. I ended up doing a brand deep dive. I will try to remember to link it in the cards and down below. I don't know which side the cards go on anymore. I forgot. I like moved my setup a little bit and I'm like, what happened? I tried a lot of products from Vieve. Go to the video to find out more. What I kind of overall felt was like, there are some really good products from Vieve, but importing them might not be worth it for most of the products that they offer. Like, a lot of their products were good, if not fabulous, but I would only really buy the fabulous products and pay any import fees I might have to pay doing that. I don't think so. I might be wrong. Maybe they have them now. I don't think there's any retailers in the US that sell Vieve. I know there's like Cult Beauty, and you can buy things maybe through Selfridges. You can also buy directly from the website. I don't know how they're handling additional fees. I don't know if you pay them up front through Vieve or if you pay them maybe later, because it does seem inconsistent in the United States whether or not you even end up having to pay those things. Go watch the video. It's a really great one. I spent a lot of time, put a lot of work on that video. Quick aside, there seems to be some compulsion for me to like do something with my hands every time I say a brand name. Did I always do that? It was just more out of frame. I don't know, I feel like you can see my whole body. Glaminatrix is the next brand I mentioned, and I'm on their PR list now. I don't know how they found me. I have bought a couple of things from Glaminatrix before they started sending me PR, but I never felt like I was someone who was constantly promoting Glaminatrix. So the vibe I've gotten from a lot of indie brand owners is that they find out about me from serious eyeshadow lovers, and then they watch my content and they're like, wow, you're very funny. Can we send you stuff? And then that's how I end up on their PR list. I'm a very serious makeup reviewer too. I do want to say that. But eyeshadow palettes are not something I take very seriously these days. So it is funny whenever our brand reaches out to me. So yeah, I tried, I think every launch that they did this year. I think I got added to their PR list not long after this video. I'm looking down the list and I'm like, whoa. Actually, whoa. Like, it's actually so crazy. This was posted on January 22nd, and this is like what has happened. What I found about Glaminatrix overall, just kind of as like a overall statement about how I feel about Glaminatrix, is that it's very hit or miss. I have not loved everything they've sent me, but some of the stuff they sent me has been really good. It does seem to me that they have like maybe 1 or 2 matte formulas, and one of the formulas I really get on with, and the other one I do not ever care to use. And I don't really know why that is. And I also have found that I typically like the palettes that other regular Glaminatrix people don't like, and they always seem to like the ones that I do. So if you would like some recommendations of the eyeshadow palettes I enjoyed from them, I really like the Timeless Tones palette and the Tones of Turd palette, which is also called the Grounded palette. When I think about the eyeshadow palettes I tried this year, again, I'm not really into eyeshadow palettes, but those were like standout moments as eyeshadow palettes I tried. I don't like the Nearly Natural palette. I'm so sorry. It looks like it would be easy to use, but it was actually one of the most annoying palettes to use. There wasn't a formula thing, it was a color story thing, which it doesn't look like a complicated color story, but it ended up being one. And I didn't like that. And I just got the Mary Chrissy palette in PR today. Like as I'm filming, like it came earlier today. I'm on the Glaminatrix PR list now. It's crazy what could happen in a year, isn't it? Next up is Unearthly Cosmetics. I did go out of my way to buy an eyeshadow palette from them. I bought their Just a Taste palette and I did not get along with it. It wasn't truly a formula thing. It was kind of a formula thing. It wasn't a bad formula. I wasn't wowed by the formula. I think Unearthly does a really good job with their eyeshadow palette color stories. There's a couple of things going against Unearthly. They do have offerings outside of eyeshadow, but that seems to be like what they're trying to get you to buy, right? Like it's like whenever they do a launch, it's like usually there's an eyeshadow palette. As someone who does receive eyeshadow PR, I used to buy this many eyeshadows. Now that these eyeshadow palettes are getting sent to me for free, I'm like, I can't believe there was ever a time where I was like buying this many eyeshadow palettes on the regular. It's actually so wild to me. It was fine. I found that color story difficult to work with, but I did choose to buy that one because it was the one that I thought I might find a creative spark with. Sometimes I'm like mostly a neutral Nancy when it comes to my eyeshadow taste, and I am now kind of more a one and done eyeshadow. And I do like an eyeshadow with a lot of impact, but it's like I really like it to be very simple for me. That's kind of how I've been feeling about makeup overall over the last couple of years. It's like if something feels really complicated and it's really counterintuitive to me, then I have no interest in using it. And it's not even because I don't love luxuriating in a long makeup application process. I really do. And if I have the time, I will, but I'm gonna spend that time on my complexion and not on my eyeshadow. So I love things that have a lot of sparkle, a lot of depth, a lot that do a lot with very little. Unearthly is kind of one of those brands where like the eyeshadow palettes are more. And the eyeshadow palette I did buy was quite large, which I don't really love, but it was just like the one that they released and I was like, maybe I can fall in love with that. Maybe that will make me want to play with that. And it didn't. There were some eyeshadows that were really beautiful in it that I really liked. And maybe if Unearthly ever did like, I don't even know if they do, they might. Maybe I just don't know. If they ever did like singles, I would consider buying singles from them because their shimmers were really pretty. Like they were interesting because there was a shade that reminded me a lot of Solstice from Urban Decay, and it was really thin and light feeling. And sometimes shimmers from indie brands can feel very thick and heavy, and I was really impressed with that. It was very sparkly, very gorgeous, very on my alley, but I was like, I don't need this whole palette for this. Anyway, so I did try them this year. I'm not closed off to trying Unearthly again in the future. Their aesthetic and my aesthetic are just kind of, we're veering off into two very different paths. And I can appreciate that path. And I know that people really love Unearthly. The only thing I think I would try right now, the thing on top of my head that I'm thinking about, I think I would try their lip liners. People really like their lip liners and they go on sale quite a lot. Like, I think they're like only $6 at full price. Maybe I'm wrong about that. But like, they're kind of inexpensive and like, sometimes you can buy them for like $1. I don't know. Pay attention. I've not tried them personally, but like, that would be me, maybe my next venture with Unearthly. The next brand I mentioned was the brand Girlcult, which I did try eyeshadows from this year. A friend sent me some of their quads, and I tried one on camera at one point. I think the thing with Girlcult is very similar to how I talked about Vieve. Right now, with the way that like things are importing and the inconsistency of everything of like international shipping in the United States and the experience for both the seller and the buyer, it's kind of been infuriating and you never know what you're gonna get. I do think Girlcult, I think Girlcult, like if you buy Girlcult on TikTok, it ships from within the US and not from China. Girlcult is a Chinese brand if you didn't know already. But I don't know if you buy from Girlcult. But also Girlcult sold on YesStyle, and I think YesStyle is covering the import costs for people who shop in the United States. So like there should be no surprise like charges to you. But read up on a brand's website to know for sure. I think for me, like international things like would have to really wow me for me to be like, yes. And I'm not saying that I don't want to try brands that are international. I definitely would. Thinking about me and how I want to shop and thinking about how a lot of the people who watch my channel like to shop, the juice really has to be worth the squeeze with an international purchase. Anyway, the Girlcult eyeshadows I tried were perfectly fine. They were really beautiful. I still have one that I haven't tried. I only tried some of their shimmer formulas. I tried like some multi-chromes. I tried some like shimmer formulas and it was beautiful. It was. They were gorgeous. Like they were really beautiful and I liked them, but I don't know that I would go out of my way to try them. I think that their packaging is really cool. And if you are really into packaging, that could be a good reason for you to want to buy from Girlcult. And I am into the aesthetics of packaging. And maybe I say out loud a lot because Cam from Clove Room, she has a channel, Clove Room. She's always like, and I'm trying to distance myself from packaging and stuff like that. And it's like, I guess I am, but I don't feel like that's like a thing I really saw because I'm a sucker for packaging. And I think Girlcult really excels at it. And I think a lot of the K-Beauty, J-Beauty, C-Beauty brands really excel at really cool packaging. I don't know that I want to go out of my way for something like that. So Girlcult I did try. There's still a lot from Girlcult I haven't tried. So they're kind of still on my list to try, but I'm not running. I had a lip product that I wore a couple of times. I think that was more of a color thing rather than a formula thing, but I also tried that too. This brand is always like on the back of my mind to try more from, but the brand Kulfi, I did try a new product from them this year. I did try their mascara, which I did quite like, but it kind of pooped out on me pretty early. Not that it dried out, but like, you know how whenever you've been like using a formula for a while, the texture changes and it wasn't like it was bad, but it started flaking on me and it didn't do that at the beginning. And it did that at about like the 2-month mark. It was a really gorgeous tubing formula. It was really lovely and I did like it. And I wouldn't hesitate to buy it again, but it's not my favorite mascara. I would buy it again, but like in a pinch, and it's not going to be my first choice. My first choice, unfortunately, is not a product that I can buy in person here. Kulfi stays on my list. The thing is, I think there's just something about what Kulfi currently offers that isn't immediately alluring to me. They had sent me eyeliners a long time ago, and their eyeliners are very good. They sent me colorful ones because I think when they found me, I think they found me on Instagram, and at the time I was doing very colorful, vibrant makeup, which I don't really do a ton of anymore. So the eyeliners I had were very colorful and rich, and they were beautiful, and they have a great wear time. They're great. So if you're looking for an eyeliner recommendation, the Kulfi eyeliners are so good. I think their eyeshadows are really pretty, and I've swatched them so many times, and the shade Soma Soma is like on my list. Like I want it so bad. It's like right up my alley, super sparkly, it's just right by, like right, sheer base, sparkly, gorgeous, chunky shimmer particles that catch the light beautifully. Very my thing. Very, very demure. To quote Jules. Did that happen this year or was that last year? When did Very Demure happen? Was that this year? God, this year has been 100 years long. It's been such a year, hasn't it? I want to try the concealer, but I tried one of their lipsticks because a friend sent it to me. It was fine. It wasn't like my favorite lipstick formula. It wasn't bad, but it wasn't like, it didn't feel like worth keeping around. They have like a lip stain, which I'm not really into lip stains. I just talked about that in the video I filmed right before this video. So I feel like I'm repeating myself, but also I'm posting every day. So Lord forbid I repeat myself. I just think their other offerings are not as intriguing to me. I do want to try their concealer, but it's like, if I wanted to dive into Kulfi, I want to try more than what I want to try. Like for it to feel like I'm really trying a brand. And I feel like Kulfi has offerings, unlike Unearthly, which I feel like they're mostly an eyeshadow brand that has some other offerings, whereas Kulfi, and I think they're really doing it in a way that seems to be sustainable. It's like they launch a new product every now and then. Everything seems really intentional and thoughtful. And I really like that about Kulfi. Kulfi's one of those brands where it's like, if they sent me PR, I would be so delighted, but I don't know that I'm going to be like running out to try everything from them. So that's kind of how I feel. The next brand, this is so funny. The video I just filmed before this was the best and worst of this brand, and it's Trixie Cosmetics. So Trixie Cosmetics, I tried later in the year. Trixie Cosmetics is a pretty affordable brand. So I squeezed a first impressions before the Vieve review, but I bought those products around the same time. The Vieve purchase was really expensive to make. The Trixie one was like about $150 for a pretty good selection of things. So that felt good to me. Like I liked how much money I spent trying Trixie. So I did the Trixie first impressions video, the brand saw it and they added me to their PR list. And it's been a fruitful relationship, I feel. Some of the products that they have sent PR, some of the products that I tried in that initial video have become staples in my makeup collection. Now, if you would have asked me before I tried Trixie Cosmetics if I would give a shit about any of those products, I would have been like, I do not give a shit about those products and I won't ever. That's not true. They make some of the best products I've tried, which is so crazy. I think their problem is their eyeshadow formula. I don't know which one is posting first. So if I already posted the best and worst of Trixie Cosmetics, watch that one to really get a good feel about how I feel about their eyeshadow formula and the brand as a whole. But yeah, I'm on their PR list now, not to play favorites, but I think that's like my favorite brand to be on their PR list because sometimes they release something and I'm like, why are you releasing that? And then I get it and I'm like, well, this makes a lot more sense now that I have it and everything's better now. That's a really interesting experience to have with such a brand. Trixie Cosmetics is a weird, I think, sleeper hit. Watch my best and worst video to understand which ones I think are actually really worth it. But some of their products were actually in the best of the year video. And that's how I feel about some of Trixie Cosmetics products. If you are not familiar with how I've operated in the beauty space up until this point, I've been a luxury fiend. So for Trixie to come in and sweep some of those things right, like it just like took some categories right from under these really expensive brands' feet. I wasn't expecting that, but it happened. The next brand is Salt New York, which my friend Hannah Louise posted and did a collab. So I was sent some stuff in PR, but then to round out some thoughts about Salt New York, which I had tried previously, I bought their concealer and their Sneaky Balm, and I bought some of their other limited edition blushes that they have discontinued. I like the Sneaky Balm way more than I did the first time. I like the concealer. I really like the non-Hannah blushes I bought. And then Hannah's collection is like a more unique experience because it was like something that was developed between the two of them. I got Salt PR. I don't think that Salt will send me any more PR, which is totally fine, but they're like a little more on my radar. And they're another brand that I think do very good, slow, intentional releases. Like they released, I think, 2 things this year. And that was even if those blushes, the Mood Light blushes were released this year, which I'm not entirely sure they were. They might have been released at the end of last year. They might have been. I'm not 100% sure. Those blushes are really good. And I think they should really consider making them permanent. I don't know why they're not permanent because they're so good. They came in like light, medium, and deep. And that's also Hannah's collection is in light, medium, deep. I think they make some really quality products for the people that they're for now that I've like tried them again. I do get why people really love the brand. Like, I don't know what Kiki's intentions are for continuing the brand because like, I think that their brand is really on re-upping. I think people really use their stuff up and buy from them again. They make all their stuff really sustainable. You buy the pans and you get a magnetic palette. It's just like an easy kind of breezy kind of situation. And I think people even finish the blushes up from them. I think they're like one of those brands like people just repurchase them because it's really reliable. I would like to see, I don't know what they would do with other categories. Like their products are kind of like multi-use products, but like, I don't know, but maybe seeing them do like something shimmery. They have highlighters, but I mean like sparkles. I always want more sparkle. So I want sparkles on my eyes. It's just like one of those brands where it's like, I don't know that anything that they release, other than like a friend releasing a makeup collab with them, I don't know what else Silk could release that would really excite me. Like make me want to buy a lot more from them. But as it stands, I'm really pleased that I tried them again. And I probably will use my Sneaky Balm all the way up. Like that's how I'm kind of feeling right now. And yeah, I think I would buy it again in the future. It's just a very unfussy. It's a very unfussy makeup brand. If you are someone who like doesn't feel like you have great makeup skills, but you have a couple makeup brushes in your fingers and you want something that feels like you can't mess it up, Salt New York is kind of the way to go. Okay, so another brand that I'm on their PR list now, Lethal Cosmetics. I don't even remember talking about Lethal Cosmetics. They found me, this is like actually a more recent like situation. I think they emailed me in the middle of summer. They've been very kind and very explicit about like not, they like, you don't have to post, but they keep reaching out to me to talk about new things. And I got their most recent launch, if you've seen anyone else talk about it. This is their lip balm. This is like the heaviest lip balm. It's like such a heavy little component. And you know I love a little heavy component. I don't know that I love the lip balm inside. It's like kind of just like very neutral. It's like, this is fine. But this is like a brick. Like, it's serious business. They sent me like their Serpentine palette. Of course, I haven't gotten into that yet. And then the lip stains. And so these lip stains are good. I've tried these a couple of times. I really like these lip stains. I'm not a lip stain person, So like take my advice with a grain of salt, but they're lip stains anyway. But I like their lip stains from the Dexter collab. Their lip oils, which I don't, okay. So the confusing thing about Lethal is when I think I was thinking about Lethal in this video where I talked about them, I was probably thinking about like the make your own palette kind of thing. And I think that the ownership shifted at some point. Someone did explain it to me. I paid attention mostly, but I really didn't. So I don't want to say anything that is untrue, but I think the vision of the brand shifted because the ownership of the brand shifted. And I think that's why they've been rebranding. And up until the Serpentine palette, which is the one that I just showed you, a lot of what they had done this year was IP. And a lot of Lethal fans were like, are you just going to be an IP brand now? And I think that they were like, no, hold my beer. We have some stuff coming out. Kind of like with Trixie Cosmetics, which I complained about in the best of worst of Trixie. It's like really hard to know what might stick around. Like they have weird things in these collections, like these IP collections, where it's like, well, they have a primer in one of the collections. They have like a blurring powder balm in one of the collections. It's like, well, what if someone really likes that? Is that something that you're going to continue offering? Is that part of your main line? Anyway, their lip oils are really good, and they're in the Dexter collab. They are so good. Like, I love their lip oils. They're so good. Their eyeshadows are really high quality. Their matte eyeshadows are so good. Yeah, I don't know. I got put on, like, they sent me PR now, and so that's really interesting. But I don't feel as though anything I've tried from Lethal has felt like a home run that I've tried from many of their collabs. The thing that I keep coming back to that, like, it's a product that, like, I know I won't use a ton, but I like it, is they have, like, there was a liquid highlighter in the Dexter collab, and it is so beautiful, but it's so like otherworldly and gorgeous and sparkly and stunning. And it's just like not something I'm going to wear very often, but it's like, I think I want it. You know, I think I want to keep it, but I haven't fully decided. The Conjuring palette is something I'm considering keeping, but that will be for the Reckoning. If you stick around long enough on my channel, you'll see that. I think that's the last one that I was so interesting. Wow, yeah, it is. It is the last brand that I talked about where I was added to their PR list. So it's what? Well, Vieve sent me PR, but I wouldn't say I'm on their PR list. That was more, I think, a one-off thing. But Glaminatrix, they send me every launch. Trixie sends me most launches. They didn't send PR for the Katya launch. It wasn't like drama, but it was like they did tell us that we weren't going to get that one, and I was like, I'm not going to buy it either. But that's more like my style. I did receive Salt New York PR, but I wasn't added to I don't think I'm on their like PR. Like I think if you see another launch from Salt New York, I don't think I'm going to be included. And then Lethal. Sometimes you just have to put the vibe out there, and you should put the vibe. Like I don't know what thing you're trying to aspire to, but put the vibe out there. Because sometimes it will come to you. That's so interesting. I forgot to mention that Vieve has sent me PR since I did the video. I filmed a couple of videos today, and so like everything's kind of like morphing into one. But such is the life of someone who's doing Vlogmas. Okay, there's only two more brands. The second to last brand is Ciele. I don't know why I was so allured by it. Ciele, I don't know what they've come out with this year, but I could care less about what Ciele's doing. Did they release the sparkly eyeshadow? Maybe they, I don't know. I like the idea of like layering SPF on top of SPF on top of SPF, but it's like we kind of gotta give it a break. Because like, I think there's going to be some categories you can't put SPF in. I would rather see brands put out sunscreens and educate people on how to properly on sunscreen. Whatever kind of sunscreen they make, if they make a mineral one or a chemical one. If they make a mineral one, educate us on how to apply mineral sunscreen. If they put out a chemical one, explain to us how to put a chemical sunscreen. I think Ciele is trying to solve a problem where like people aren't really putting on sunscreen the right way. So they're like, well, if everything we make that they put on their face has SPF in it, we're going to protect them from the sun. But I think we just need some more solid education on how sun protection works. And there are a lot of beauty scientists, beauty chemists on the internet. They're trying to explain to us how to effectively wear SPF and what types of SPF are for who and why and when. And no one's listening to them because like once you start feeling like you're getting too scientific about it, people don't care. A lot of people who are just like casually shopping in these makeup stores don't care. Like if they care about SPF, they do. And if they don't, they're not going to listen to, do you know what I'm saying? I wish like Ciele would put out, like, I don't know. I think, yeah, their skin tint with the SPF in it makes sense to me. But like the bronzer, the blush, the highlight, like the powder, like it doesn't all need to be SPF. But I think that's going to hold them back in the long run and really corner them. Especially what's disappointing to me is that Ciele is owned by the person who used to own Rowan Beauty. And I think what she was doing with Rowan was much more interesting before. I'm not really sure the thing that happened, but I think it sounded like she got ousted from that brand. And then like Rowan is basically, it was like venture capitalists shifted her out of the position of power. she started Ciele, and then like Rowan is just dying. And I thought what Rowan was doing was pretty cool. If you've been here, you know that I rebought a Rowan quad on the secondhand market because I missed it. It's just sad. I feel sad. I hope that one day we see those formulas come back and Nikki DeRoast is the person who brings them back. And the last brand, which is a brand I have tried eyeshadows from, is the brand Clionadh. But they have some pre-made eyeshadows. There was like the Ocean palette, which I was very allured by. And they've also released a couple of things this year that I have heavily considered. They released like a topper palette, and a lot of my friends who got it in PR or that have bought it were like, you would really like it. And it's like, I don't need another Clionadh. Like, I like want it, but it's also like in a very real way. It's like to be realistic with myself, and that's what I try to do on my channel. It's like, I don't really like need to go out of my way to buy it. But I love Clionadh. Like, I do really love Clionadh, and I would always love to try more. I did buy one eyeshadow. They released a lot of eyeshadows this year that I thought were really pretty. But a fellow content creator, Rainier, she did a short, which was not about the eyeshadow that she was wearing. But me and every other person in the comments was like, what's that eyeshadow? What's that eyeshadow? What's that eyeshadow? It was the shade Archway. Gorgeous. Archway is so stunning. It's like this, oh, so good. I swatched it in my declutter video, and you can skip right to it if you want to see it swatched. It's not an eyeshadow I wear very often because it's a gold, but it's such a special eyeshadow. It's so pretty. Oh, Archway is stunning. And Rainier was wearing it. It was just a one and done. She just put it on, and it looked like she was wearing like the most complicated eyeshadow look. And she was like, it's just Archway. I used her promo code. It's Rainier if you want to use it to save some money. There's also a lot of people who have promo codes for Clionadh. Yeah, I would love to try more Clionadh. The thing is, you know, it's like I'm trying to be very specific and thoughtful, especially with eyeshadow, because it's not a category of makeup that is super exciting to me. But the topper palette is kind of one of those things that's sitting in the back of my mind that I might buy one day. I think Clionadh is a very cool brand too, and I'm always rooting for them. And that's the video, friends. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure you check out that pinned comment to support people who need your help. I'm on Patreon, and I have channel memberships again. No pressure to join those. Subscribe if you're not already. Don't forget to like and hype the video if you have the hype feature. And that's it for me. Thank you so much for watching. Remember to follow your hope, and you'll find me. I'll see you in a video tomorrow. Go forth. It's out.